Good morning, everyone. You are attending the Animal Matters Commission hearing for September 8th, 2025. Please turn off or silence your cell phones. The Animal Matters Commission was established and is conducted in accordance with Article 12 of the Anne Arundel County Code. These are administrative hearings, and by nature they are informal, which means you are not hampered by rules of evidence. However, please be aware that you are still testifying under oath. Each party will have their opportunity to state their case. After each party states their case, they will have an opportunity to ask questions of the other party. Please do not interrupt the other party. You will be given ample time to talk. In many cases, we are aware there is a history. You may briefly tell the commission about the history, but please focus on the issue at hand. After each case, the commission will have open deliberations. During these deliberations, the public may not participate. If the commissioners have an additional question, you may answer that question. No further information will be heard and a decision will be rendered. This decision is a recommendation to the Director of Animal Services or their representative. The recommendation of the commission will be taken into consideration, and a final decision will be made by the Director of Animal Services or their designated representative. If, as the defendant in the case, you are unhappy with the decision of the commission, you may appeal. For citation cases, appeals are made through the District Court of Maryland. For administrative orders like potentially dangerous, or vicious order, appeals are made through the County Board of Appeals. Be advised that when we are discussing cruelty cases, the commission is not voting to return the animals to the owner right away. If the commission votes for the owner to have the animals back, they will have to wait until their district court cases are adjudicated. Autumn, please call our first case.
So our first case, I actually wanted to talk about that with you. There was an issue with the Zoom link that occurred, so I had to create a new one, which is why I sent out a new link to everyone. One of the individuals for the first case, she's just not very tech savvy and is having a lot of struggles getting on. However, the situation is a little unique because the dog walker is the one that was involved with her animal. She is here, and the owner of the other animal is here. But obviously, the one who filed the affidavit is not here, the owner of the victim dog. Would you want to just postpone it, given that was something that on our end with the technical issues that caused her not to be able to join? Or are you guys comfortable hearing from the dog walker, who is the caretaker for the animal, as the owner's not able to?
How is the owner feeling about this? Does she want us to postpone it so that she can participate?
I think she was just more worried that because something bad would happen because she wasn't able to join. But again, I let her know that it's not anything at fault of hers; it's our fault. And again, the dog walker is here, so the one who full on experienced everything that happened would be here to testify. So,
I'm interested to hear from everybody else, but I feel like since it's a technical issue on our end, that we should postpone it so that the owner of the dog can participate. How do the rest of you feel?
I agree with you, Jackie.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Okay. Do we need to take a vote on this, or can we just say we'll postpone it?
I have just a vote on it for the case of Fleming versus Griffin.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'd move to postpone till next month.
Thank you, Tom. A second.
I'll second Tom.
Thank you. All those in favor of postponing until the next month? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, if you are a participant in the Rudolph versus Hebron case, please use the raise hand function at this time. And then I'm going to ask you to turn your cameras on and unmute yourselves so I can swear you in. And then unmute. Perfect.
Good
If you
morning.
could both raise your right hands for me. Do you swear and affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then I'll start with Ms. Rudolph. Can you just state your name and address for the record?
Brittany Rudolph, 8155 Hollow Court, Severn, Maryland, 21144.
Perfect. And Mr. Hebron, if you could please state your name and address for the record.
Ron, address 8147 Hollow Court, Severn, Maryland, 21144.
I will now turn it back over to you, Jackie.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Hebron, you are the complainant. Can you tell us, please, what your concerns are and why you filed the citations?
Well, I filed the citation just because Miss Rudolph had her dog go to the bathroom in my yard. I sent a complaint to my HOA management company, and I'm also the HOA president. And she basically sent a very rude email back, basically telling us that she could press charges because I had her and her daughter on film, which is absurd. But all I wanted her to do is just don't let your dog go to the bathroom on my yard. That's all. I don't want to go through all this, but that's all I asked. But then she sent that rude email, and basically, here we are.
Okay, thank you. Can you describe the pictures that Autumn has put up on the screen for us? And are
That
those
is-
from your Ring
Yes.
camera, or where are those from?
That is from my camera there is set up on my driveway. That is my driveway, and that is my side yard.
Thank you. Do any of the members of the commission have any questions? Yes, Dr. Hammer. I think you're still muted.
There you go. Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi there.
All right. All right. All right, Mr. Hebron, the citation we have here is failure to remove a screecher, or where is the evidence supporting that citation?
Dog went straight to the bathroom on my yard. Went number one on my yard. I'm having a hard time keeping this yard, I guess, green as is. So pretty much, we all have backyards. There's common areas and everything else like that. But again, this was just, can you please not let your dog go to the bathroom on my yard? And then I got a email saying I can press charges and everything else like that. All I want is, please just try not to let your dog go to the bathroom on my yard. Thank you, and that's it. But then I got that email.
Okay, so you don't have any video evidence showing the dog defecating on your property, do you?
That was the whole video. Those were just screen stills that Miss Autumn got. That I had a whole video.
Dr. Hammer, so failure to remove animal excretion is inclusive to urination on private property.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification, Autumn, and your questions, Dr. Hemmer. Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Rudolph? Excuse me, Mr. Hebron. Did I hear someone? Okay, then with no more questions, we'll move on to Ms. Rudolph, if you will please address the issue.
Hi, good morning. So the issue that I had with the way that this was handled was the HOA basically uses animal services as a retaliatory measure for people that have pets. I'm not denying that my dog didn't pee on the yard. If you see in the picture, which I have here also, he doesn't even have all 3 feet on the yard. And in past communities that I've lived in, I've only lived in this community since May 1st. I just bought the property. Um, and I was under the assumption that the first 3 feet are easement. That's how it's always been in every community that I've lived in thus far and owned property in. As the HOA president, I would have expected a knock on the door, something more friendly and neighborly, if that was all that it was. But I received an email from the HOA management company with a video of my minor child that came from a stranger that I don't know. And you can clearly in the video hear the conversation that was happening between my daughter and I, because it's a surveillance system. It's not just a ring camera. And so that was the issue that I brought up with the management company was, why do we have people sending videos of minors to other people? Like, that's my child. Like, if there was an issue with the dog going to the bathroom, come talk to me. We live 3 houses away from each other. Or lots of people in the community have the little signs on their yard that say, like, please don't let your dog use the bathroom. I would never leave poop in somebody's yard. It was just urine. My dog is a service dog. I'm a disabled veteran. Like, the back area that he's referring to, the common space, is often very high, and there are ticks back there, and it's not treated. So I just really don't like walking my dogs back there. And I have not, since the email exchange occurred on the day of the incident, let my dog go to the bathroom in anybody's yard. So I just kind of didn't like the way that the HOA, I guess, president and the HOA management company handled the situation. And I feel like as a parent, I'm well within my right to say that I don't feel like it's appropriate for people to be sending videos back and forth of my child.
Mr. Rudolph, I can understand your concern there, but that is an issue to take up with your HOA. It's not within our jurisdiction
Yes,
to
yes,
act on
ma'am.
that. So I just want to be clear that the pictures that we have been shown, those are you and your dog.
That is me
Okay.
and my dog, and him urinating on the grass. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do any of the commission members have any questions for Ms. Rudolph? Ms. Rudolph, it says here on our agenda that your dog was not licensed. Can you explain why, please?
I was not aware that that was a requirement in Anne Arundel County. Like I said, I just moved to this county from Howard County, and I just didn't know that it was a thing until I got the notice in the mail. But they are both registered.
Okay, good, good.
So
Just for your information, in case you should move again, I believe most every county in the country has licensing for their pets. So if you do move, be sure to check into that. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
All right. Any questions for her? Okay, then we'll move on to deliberations. Thank you very much, both of you, Mr. Hebron and Ms. Rudolph, for being here this morning. All right. Well, to me, there's evidence showing the dog going to the bathroom in the yard, whether it's poop or pee. According to Autumn, in the law does not matter. Does anybody have any comments want to share? Dr. Hammer.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only question I have is, she said the dog was registered. Can we verify the dog's currently licensed? Can Autumn do
She
that
just
for
held
us?
up the papers.
The
But,
the dog is currently licensed. I verified
Good.
in the system.
Dog is currently licensed. Okay.
They are both
All right.
licensed, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. Tom?
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty cut and dry. I'm actually surprised. I've been doing this a long time. I didn't realize that urine was considered in that designation. But if it is, then it's pretty clear and cut and dry. So I would
Yeah.
move to uphold the citation.
Yeah. And it does hurt the grass. Lieutenant McGrath?
Yeah, I agree with everyone else. There, I mean, there's pictures of it. Assuming that's his property, we can verify that in fact it was his property.
Yeah. Nicole?
Oh, I agree with the rest of the members.
Okay, thank you. I think Mr. Hebron did say that that was his property. The picture was taken from there. So, all right, can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion that we uphold the citation ending in 3126 and that we dismiss the citation ending in 3137.
Oh. Okay, is there a second on that? Or do we need to have a discussion? I personally think that the failure to license should be upheld. It is her responsibility. She moved from Howard County. It's required there. It's just a matter that she didn't do. But so can we take each one separately, a motion separately on them?
Sure.
Okay. So you wanna-
I make a motion that we uphold citation ending in 3126.
I'll second
Second.
that.
Thank you. All those in favor? Okay. And then a second motion on the failure to license. And again, I will just say that it is the animal owner's responsibility to know this, and to do it.
Just an explanation. My thought process is the spirit of the law is to get the animal registered, and she did in fact get that done. The dog more than likely was unregistered when the event occurred. So if you want to be technical, yes, I mean it was failed to be registered when that was done. But the intent of the law is to get the dog registered in the system, which the owner has complied. Whether she knew or not, I'm not going to get into that discussion, and that's my reasoning for making a motion that we dismiss the failure to license ending in 3137, and that is in fact a motion I'll put before the commission.
And I
Thank you
second.
very much. Thank you. All those in favor of dismissing the citation of failure to license? Those opposed?
At least we agree to disagree. And we're
Yes,
civil.
well,
That's
and
good.
you have to remember that I had 20 years in animal control and animal welfare.
Totally respect that, Jackie. Totally respect that.
Thank you all very much. Yes, we will always agree to disagree. All right, so our next case, please.
If
And
you are,
am I correct when I read the agenda that the complainant and the owner of the animal, the names were switched?
you are correct. So I do
Okay,
apologize
I
for
want to
that.
be sure that I talked to the right person.
Okay, so if you are a participant in Whitfield versus Gibbons, please use the raise hand function so that way I can promote you to panelist. And then I will ask both of you to unmute yourselves and turn on your cameras. If you could please both raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Ms. Whitfield, if you could please state your name and address for the record.
Angela Whitfield, 2313 Kesey Court, Crofton, Maryland, 21114.
Here, and then Mr. Gibbons, if you could please do the same.
Sure. Mark Gibbons, 2315 Kesey Court, zip code 21114.
I will turn it over to you, Jackie.
Thank you very much. For everybody on the commission, when you look at your agenda, the names are switched. So it's Mrs. Whitfield who is the complainant. So Ms. Whitfield, if you'll explain to us why you filed the citations.
I filed the citations for excessive barking, basically barking as a nuisance. The Mr. Gibbons is my next door neighbor, and his dogs have had unrestricted access to their back patio. And when they go out there to do their business, they bark. They bark kind of incessantly without stopping, and it sort of just goes on all day. I moved in February. I noticed it right away. My mom noticed it right away. I thought maybe I wouldn't notice it after a while or it wouldn't bother me. And I understand that dogs bark. So, a month or two of leeway was given just to warm up to the neighborhood, but it was a lot. It was excessive barking, and I think just the way the patio is and the fence, the noise from the barking just shoots right up into my townhouse. And yeah, I really wasn't able to use my back deck because if I went out there, the dogs would come out the door and they would start barking. So it got to be too much for me. I did speak with the Gibbonses. I wrote a note. Things sort of improved, but I believe, and this is just my belief, that when they were not home, the door was being left open, and so the dogs were uncontrolled during that time. And it just became a persistent issue. Things did improve, and I had collected some video evidence just in case. And then it was the weekend after the 4th of July. And I don't know if they just weren't home all weekend, but the dogs just seemed to bark for 3 days. And that next week I filed the complaints.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Whitfield? All right, then we'll move on. And Mr. Gibbons?
I'm
if
sorry, I
you'd
do
like
have
to
one.
address
I have one
this.
question.
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Yes.
I had my screen turned a different way.
Sorry.
Miss Whitfield. So you're saying that barking only occurs when they're in the backyard. There's no barking. I mean, it's not like anything that's happening through the walls or in the house. It's only when they're out back.
Oh, I hear them through the walls too, but that doesn't bother me. It's only when they're outside.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Whitfield? Then Mr. Gibbons, if you will address this, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, commissioners, for allowing me to talk about this. So I did speak to Miss Whitfield. So in February, when she moved in, I did not encounter her till probably mid-February, but I did receive a letter from HOA concerning about barking dogs. So I phoned them immediately. The HOA homeowner association, yes. And I called them, and they said basically there was not a whole lot they can do, but they had to follow through. Then I came home one day from work, from work one day, and I had a notice from Officer Claycomb that said, please contact me within 24 hours. So I did. And I spoke to her on the phone that evening when I got home, and she told me that there was a complaint that a Great Dane was tethered in my backyard. And so Officer Claymore said, that she came around back and she realized that there was 3 dogs back there, no one tethered. They had access to shelter, food, and water, and everything. And this complaint was not founded. She went around front to tape the notice to the door, and the dogs were up there waiting for her. So she just said, hey, all she wanted to know was, were the dogs vaccinated? And I did send her the proof of the vaccinations. I also let her know that they were vaccinated because they go to, at that time, doggy daycare 1 day a week. And so then she did follow up with the doggy daycare just to confirm that that was the case. Then a couple of days later, I was outside getting ready for work, and she was getting ready. Miss Whitfield was getting ready to take her daughters to school, and she confronted me. She said, look, she says, I just can't handle this. The barking. They're outside, back and forth, in and out, all day long, and that's just not right. And I spoke to her and I said, look, I said, I work in DC. It's not any different than having a doggy door. They have to go outside to relieve themselves. I said, but I did agree to that if when I am home, I will, restrict their access as much as I can. And I thought we were okay. Then a couple days later, she came out. She was upset again. And I don't think she was really upset so much as a dog. I know that she was personally going through a lot of issues, and she relayed some of those, which isn't people's business here. And I just said, I understand. And again, I will try to help her out as much as possible when I'm home or my wife is home. So what we did do, though, is I went ahead and purchased that fake shrubbery to put along the back fence to kind of block the dog's view from people. I don't know what that is. To block the view of the dog so they wouldn't see, as easily people walking by. I also increased the amount of days that one of the dogs goes to doggy daycare to 2 days a week. So I did try to do those. And like I said, I did tell her that whenever there's an event or something, or she has something on her backyard that she would like to do, an evening party like my other neighbors, we always just bring the dogs in so they're not bothered or have any issues. I've lived here for 20 years now. I've had the dogs since they were puppies. No one before has ever complained about that. The tenants before her had no issues. So that was just in February. And then, and I also received a nice note from her, just, saying that, and I sent that as evidence, that, she likes the neighborhood and sorry about her first impression. She was kind of in a basket case there. I know she was going through some rough times, but what she doesn't know is so was everybody else. We were at the time going back and forth to Johns Hopkins with my granddaughter who was fighting for her life. She was in PICU for 3.5 months. So, I would either go to work or I was at Johns Hopkins all day. So then in April, I received a text message from her while I was at work saying the dogs were outside barking for 4 hours nonstop. So I called my daughter, pulled her out of school. She came in and checked on the boys, brought them inside till I got home. Then that evening, or maybe a day or so later, then I see that there's this bag taped, and you should see pictures of that in the evidence that I sent, tied to her back deck, kind of flopping. And my dogs and the dogs next to her at 2311 are irritated by the bang or were barking. Then a couple of weeks later, she purchased she purchased a bark control device, which is fine. That's all within her right to do that. But she put that out there in the backyard. And one dog at work, the other dog, for some reason, it kind of hurt his ears and he would bark even more. So, but that was fine. I had no problem with that. She was spending her money on what she thought would help her. And I appreciate that. A little bit later on, I think in May or so, there was a huge rat that came across the backyard. My dogs tried to get it. And I just wanted to inform her and my other neighbor, hey, it's that time of month, the year, we got this rodent around here. And just so I wanted to make sure that Angela knew, just be careful when the girls go in the backyard, please be careful, because I saw that. So I wasn't able to speak to her, but I spoke to her mother. So just wanted to let her know. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gibbons, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but could you please address the days that are noted in the citation? And I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
I do,
The
ma'am.
exact days.
I do. I mean, those days we were at work. That's all to it. The
Okay.
boys go to doggy daycare Mondays and Thursdays. These were, I think, a Wednesday, a Friday. I think were a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Friday.
Okay, thank you. Sir, I can't help myself, but you look like you have an awesome collection behind you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
very envious. I have a collection myself, and it's not anywhere near yours.
Yes, ma'am.
My understanding is that your dogs, is it Yeti and Whiskey, are still not licensed with the county?
Okay, I wasn't aware of that, but yes, if that's the case, they will be registered today or licensed today.
All right, thank you very much. Is it possible for the dogs, when you're not home, when you're at work, for the dogs to be restricted inside? Because when you're not home, you don't have
Oh,
control.
ma'am, excuse
of
me, I'm
what's
sorry.
going on.
You froze for a second and I didn't hear your full statement. Sorry.
Oh, okay, thank you. Is it possible that when you're not home, that you restrict your dog's access to the outside? So that, because when you're not home, you don't have control and know what is happening.
I could do that, ma'am. That means I would shut the door, but they would not have access to go and relieve themselves. So I guess my question for you and maybe the other commissioners is there some type of a rule regulation there where there's like, whether it's a doggy door, whatever, they can't have access to the backyard to relieve themselves?
Well, no, but the issue at hand today is the barking when they are out there.
Well, yes, ma'am, because they're right next to a street. There's a lot of people that walk back and forth. Also, during those times, I don't know if that was the day that the lawn care comes and does the service. So then, of course, the dogs are irritated by that. There's also been times that there's been road construction. In the video recordings or the voice recordings or whatever you want, the recordings that Ms. Whitfield sent, in some cases you can hear dogs barking also. Now, I guess my question is there's dogs to the left of her, three dogs, and then there's my dogs to the right, and then 2 doors down, there's more dogs that are outside all day as well. So, so I understand we are right next door to her, but so are the other ones. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out what the true issue is there. But I guess the problem I have is that even in June timeframe, I thought we were doing okay. I even offered some treats with her mother's permission to give to her daughters, Maddie and Allie. So when they do come to the back deck, they could at least introduce themselves and throw down some treats every once, so the dogs become comfortable with them. And I wrote down on the treat bag, white dog is whiskey, brown dog is Yeti. And then I realized that, on the citations that those names were then identified and put on citations. But, I'm trying to figure out ways that we can work just so the dogs can understand and meet these people and understand and feel comfortable with them. They don't have any problems with the neighbors to the right because they've recognized them. They're around them. Now there are a lot more things occurring next door that they start barking because they're running a business. Their daughters have a coffee business, so they load up their vehicles every other day or something like that, and it's different people coming. So, but even that has stopped as well. But like I said, I have increased the days that the dogs go to doggy daycare. The only thing that really kind of bothers us more than anything else, commissioners, is that in August now we have a Ring camera that is pointed directly into our backyard in the back corner. Now, all about Miss Whitfield's and her mother, she needs to protect her house and the daughters. But the position, if you look at the pictures I sent you, a camera is tucked away in the back corner and it's only pointed to my backyard. If it were moved more to the front of the backyard, you would be able to, look at the back gate, and that's where I would think you'd have to worry about security, but that's not the purpose of this camera. So that's an
sir,
issue.
that's not the purpose of our commission today.
Now, I understand that, but I just
Thank
want you to know the intent and mentality. So, I mean, in these recordings, yes, she walks out, you can see the dogs, and then the camera's set down. How do I know that she wasn't there baiting the dogs, to get them to bark more? I don't know, and you don't know either. You're just assuming that may not be the case. And I'm assuming that's too, but I don't know what the definition of excessive is in Anne Arundel County. I mean, is it 5 minutes of nonstop barking, or is it 5 minutes within an hour period? I don't know what the definition of excessive barking is. So if you can please explain that to me in what the ordinance says, I'd be glad to accommodate that as well.
Autumn, would you like to address that, please, or is our legal advisor with us?
So he wants clarification on the noise disturbance.
On what excessive is?
So the ordinance itself is there's public nuisance animal disturbance. Basically that animal disturbance, an animal cannot disturb the quiet of a neighborhood. A public nuisance cannot be a nuisance to the public. The typical for us is if it's 15 minutes or more, it's a disturbance or a nuisance without anybody trying to intervene or stop it. If it's for like 2, 4, 5 minutes, we don't really, we say dogs bark, because that's what they do, they bark. But if they're continuously nonstop, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we consider that a disturbance and a nuisance.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that clarification. And in those video recordings, I don't think we have anything more than 3-4 minutes at any one time. And I think there's a big gap. I know that one of the videos was 30 minutes. I forgot the length of the other ones, but what you've just described, the dogs are not violating any of those regulations that you cited. Again, I'm not sure what we can do on days that we work. We do both work in DC. I wish we had the luxury of working at home, but we don't. But that's where we're at.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbons.
Thank you,
Do
ma'am.
the commission members have any questions for Mr. Gibbons? Nope. Ms. Whitfield, do you have anything that you want to add?
I would, thank you.
Okay.
I mean, as someone that also has to work in Bethesda, I know how difficult it is to leave the home for an extended period of time. I mean, he brought up the dogs to the other side of me. They're not outside all day, or if they are, I don't hear them. So I don't know if they're outside all day because they don't stand outside on the patio and bark. So I'm not aware of those dogs at all, really. I've seen them out front. I know they're smaller, so that's not an issue for me. I mean, I fully appreciate that dog doors exist, and I know dogs are, can have free access to their backyards, but not if they bark constantly and are a nuisance. Then, other measures have to be taken in that case, I would think. I'm not an unreasonable person. I know the dogs are only barking for like maybe 5-6 minutes at a time, and then they go back inside. The problem is that in a 9-hour day, they go out and come back in and go out and come back in and go out. And it's just, so if you were to add up the time, and I'm not going to put my phone out there for 9 hours and capture all the barking, I need my phone, first of all, and then that's a very long video for everybody to watch. So I think if you were to add up the minutes in a day, it would be far more than 15. So sure, I don't know what the laws are on how many total minutes of barking in 24 hours. I don't think that's something that can be written down in an ordinance, but I don't know. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do any of the commission members have any questions for either Ms. Whitfield or Mr. Gibbons? If not, we'll go to deliberations. And thank you, Mr. Gibbons and Ms. Whitfield, for being here this morning.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Comments from Dr. Hammer or Tom?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't think that there is a specific time limit in the regulation. I think that a disturbance can be 5 minutes periodically. I don't think that there's any specific. If animal control wants to follow up on things that are closer to 15 minutes, generally that's their purview, I guess. But the regulation, I don't think, is specific to any given time frame. I don't find it I don't see it being reasonable to have an animal given free access with no control, especially given that there's been warnings and I say warnings, there's been information provided from the neighbor to the other neighbor that this issue is continuing. And I feel like he even admitted that at one point that, that it seems like he's aware that there's a problem, because if she has purchased things to put on her own back porch, he said that the one dog did seem to get better. So if he's saying that the dog got better, he must agree that the dog had an issue, in my opinion. So that all being said, I'd be willing to I feel like we should uphold some portion of these. I don't know that we need to uphold every single citation. I'd be willing to entertain maybe upholding half of these citations to kind of make a point. I don't know that we need to even, there's 5 or 6 citations all within the same day, it looks like, at different times. So I'd be willing to either uphold one or maybe multiple, not necessarily all of them. Again, these people have to live next door to each other. And I think this just needs to be a wake-up call that we can't have animals kind of just doing what they want all day long. And that's how I feel. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Anybody else have some comments or thoughts, Nicole?
So I absolutely agree with Tom. I feel for Miss Whitfield to have to live next to large barking dogs, whether it's for 5 minutes, for 15 minutes. They have unfettered access to the backyard, which means they can come and go and are free to bark as long as they'd like. I appreciate that they have had neighborly conversations about this, but the conditions seem to persist. The disturbance seems to exist, consistently keep happening. So my vote would be to uphold one animal disturbance citation per the dogs, one each dog. So that would be 3. And those are my thoughts.
Thank you. Anyone else? I tend to agree with you all that this is a situation that could be controlled simply by closing the door and the dogs stay in when they're not home. And they can't control the situation. Nicole, your idea, I think, of like 1 citation per dog is a good idea. And then Autumn, we need to be sure that they get licensed. So can I have a motion? Oops, Autumn, do you have something?
No, I was just going to agree with you about the licensing.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Can we have a motion, please?
Yeah, I'd move to uphold. I got to find all the citation numbers. Sorry. I'm working on a little tiny computer screen here.
Okay. Well, and maybe Autumn can help us with that and can we identify the citations and which dogs they apply to?
So are you wanting to uphold just 1 per each
One
dog?
per dog. Yes, 1 per each
That would
dog.
only be 2 citations then.
That's what I thought.
So you could do it by upholding 2957, 2958, and then dismissing the rest.
Okay, then that's what we'll do. I'd like to move to uphold citations ending 2957 and 58, 2958, and then dismissing the remaining citations.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? It's like that's unanimous. Thank you.
And I will follow up with Mr. Gibbons regarding the decision and the licensing portion of things, since we are
Thank you
close to
very
the vote.
much. Thank you. So our next case, please.
If you are a participant in the Forrester versus Herbert case, please use the raise hand function. Okay. I'm going to ask you to unmute and turn on your cameras. All right, if I could get you guys both to raise your right hands for me, please. Do you swear under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
If you could, Ms. Forrester, if you could just state your name and address for the record.
Abby Forrester, 35 Citygate Lane, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
And then Mr. Herbert, if you could please do the same. Are you able to hear him? No. We're not able to hear you, sir. Let's see. Are you on a computer, Mr. Herbert?
How's that? Do you hear me?
No, now we can hear you. Gotcha. If you could state your name and address for the record, please.
Charles Herbert, 35 Water Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
I will turn it over to you, Jackie.
Thank you very much. Excuse me. Mr. Foster, you're the complainant, so if you would please explain to us why you took the citations.
So I was walking my dog and turned a corner right in front of their house, and the cat jumped out like from nowhere and started attacking us. I had multiple bite wounds. I was yelling for help. Mr. Herbert was standing outside, and somebody from his house ran out and tore the cat off of me. I missed work that day. I was bleeding. I told Mr. Herbert that I had blood dripping down my leg. I went home. I was about a week later. I got really sick. I won't go into details, but I had to go back to urgent care, and it was from the bacteria of the cat. I had called animal control numerous times because the cat continued to go out and be let out, and they knocked on their door numerous times and they continued. I only submitted one picture of the cat out per day, but there were numerous times where we saw him. I have about 10 more to submit because the cat continues to be outside and in front of my house all the time. And there's a lot of times where I can't go outside because I don't want to be attacked again. I know the cat has attacked other animals before. I don't know if it's attacked another human before, but I don't want to be anywhere near the cat. And it's walked still to this day. Yesterday, I have a picture of it being right across the street from my house. And I'm very uncomfortable with it. I feel bad that the cat has to be kept inside, but it's just the way it attacked me was so vicious and just out of nowhere, like for no reason. Even if he could keep his cat over near his property so I could walk out of my house comfortably. I don't have to walk down that alley. I don't walk that way anymore. Like I can only walk certain ways in my neighborhood now. And I'm okay with that if he keeps the cat over there, but it's not happening.
Thank you. Do any of the commission members have any questions for her? If not, then I'm sorry.
And
Yes.
a question for I guess for Autumn, how come this isn't we're not seeing any kind of PDO or DO here for this cat? He truly attacked this woman and she had to seek medical care and got sick from the attack. I mean, that seems like serious injury to me. Autumn,
So-
you're
So based off of the bite and evidence, so obviously that's public safety, but there was a warning letter issued because there's been no reported previous history to us for
Okay.
this cat. So that's typically based off of the severity of the injury. That's the protocol that we would take is the warning
Okay.
letter.
Okay.
So that was done.
okay. That's all I need to know. Thank you, Autumn.
Can I ask one more thing? How do we, I guess my main question is how do we, it's clearly not the warning letter, the citations, all this isn't making a difference because the cat is still out every day. And again, like I can submit 10 to 20 more pictures of the cat being outside. I don't understand like how we get it to stop. And like I said, even if he kept it over on like his side, like in front of his house, like that area, I just can't walk out of my house sometimes.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Forster, for being here. Mr. Herbert?
Hi, good morning.
Hi. Can you address this, please?
Yes, I would like to say, from my experience of the day of the incident, the cat was in the bushes, as it normally is. and was provoked by the dog and therefore defended itself. And it escalated, of course, and I apologize for that, but I did try to reprimand the cat. The dog ran away. We had a little incident, and I agreed to pay for Abby's medical bills, which I did. This is a community cat that we have taken care of since it's been around. Took it to the vet for the community, got its rabies shot, feed it, keep it, healthy, and we've have it licensed, but I can't keep it inside. It's not my cat. In other words, it does not stay inside. It's an outdoor community cat. I call it a, he was here before us. He's been doing his thing for 10 or whatever years, however old he is. So if you can understand that, that's what I have to say. And I do come to you here, the citations were all done at once, and I was kind of taken aback. It seems like we're under surveillance, and every time the cat goes out to go to the bathroom or whatever he does, he hasn't attacked anybody. I think Abby might, be traumatized by that one event, and that's all I can, I can only talk for the cat.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Herbert?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Mr. Herbert, you just stated that the cat is not your cat and the cat is a community cat. And then you just stated that the cat goes outside to use the bathroom. So is it that he doesn't go in your house or that he does go in your house?
We let it in for the weather, and it has a way to get in and out of the house. And we feed it because, we've befriended it.
Okay, I understand. Community cats are not usually let into people's. I mean, the community cat law would usually protect, as I understand, a cat that's outside, like basically a feral cat, and you're providing food for that animal.
You're hanging, Tom.
Animal, but then once you allow the animal in the house, does that then become your pet? I'm trying to.
Oh, I understand, and that seems to be when I spoke with Autumn. There's the laws. And now it is our cat legally, apparently, right? But I can't control that animal because it will tear apart the house if you try to entrap it.
So
it has to be inside.
Just for the commission, as Tom was saying, community cats, similar to that of feral cats, they stay outside. They're not in a home, they kind of wander around. Mr. Herbert provided vet care for the cat. The cat is licensed and registered in his name. So it's not labeled to us here as a community cat based off of those facts.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
So just for my own edification, Autumn, are you implying that in Mr. Herbert's case, instead of licensing the cat under his name, therefore de facto becoming the owner of the cat, if he registered the cat with animal control as a community cat, he would have no liability, even though he's providing food, shelter, and care for the pet? How does that work? For my own information,
Community cats aren't, like, feral cats not registered. So if you look at TNR, the trap, neuter, return, their ears are clipped. They're returned. We don't track them in any sense other than that, just making sure that population control. We'll never have somebody randomly in a community be like, hey, you license this community cat in your name, even though it's a community cat. So once you license them, you provide them vet care, the animal is registered at the vet as your animal, it's your domesticated pet that you are providing the vaccinations and everything for, and then letting it inside to eat food.
Thank you again, Autumn, for that clarification. Does anybody have any questions for either Mr. Herbert or Ms. Forrester? Ms. Forrester?
Yes, a couple of things. I know all the citations came at once. It's because the reason that they all came at once is because I kept on calling animal control, and they did go out a few times to tell them to keep the pet inside, and it just wasn't working. And the fact that my dog provoked them is not the case, because we were simply walking. My dog is old and she wears a harness. She's actually losing use of her back legs, and she's not very strong. We literally were just turning the corner. My dog wasn't even on the grass at the time. We were like turning the corner. The dog just jumped out. My dog immediately went onto her back. He was actually lucky that it wasn't a different dog, because any other dog would have fought back. My dog went on her back and then ran, and that's it. So innocent, my dog, like we didn't do anything. Turned a corner and the cat jumped out of the bush. So I just wanted to clarify those.
Thank you, Ms. Forrester.
Ms.
Mr. Herbert?
Forrester, I'm sorry, Ms. Forrester, can you clarify for me real quick? When you say turn the corner, you were on the public sidewalk when this happened?
I was on the sidewalk and I was coming down the alley to my house, which is a sidewalk, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Herbert, I think you had your hand up.
I did, thank you. I wanted to clarify that some of the citations were about another cat in the neighborhood, not the one Mr. Fluffy in question, pictures and surveillance of a neighbor's cat who comes out, we've seen her around. So I just wanted to clarify that. And he's been out for a long time, like years. So I also wanted to state that I got a letter in the mail with a bill to license the cat. So I did. That was after this event. So I took care of that. And I just wanted to state that so it doesn't sound like it's something that I got coerced into. So now it's my cat. But I'm following all the rules for the society and the health of the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Yes.
Autumn, can you clarify the citations on which, are there different cats?
No, there is only the one cat, Mr. Fluffy.
Okay, thank you. That's what I thought too. So all the citations have to do with Mr. Fluffy and not another cat.
On separate dates and times.
Thank you. Commission members, anybody have any further questions for either of our parties? If not, we'll go to deliberations then. Thank you, Ms. Forrester and Mr. Herbert, for being here this morning. Well, it seems like whether it's community cat, it's not feral cat. Mr. Forrester has taken control of this cat, has taken ownership of this cat by way of the vet care, bringing the cat in and out, providing food, licensing, and all that. Under the law, it would seem to me that this is his cat and he is responsible for its actions. And a dog, to me, a dog walking on a leash is not a provocation for an attack. Who else has comments?
I would tend to agree with that. I mean, the community cats thing is definitely, it's a tough situation. If he decided to do this, I understand that cat's probably lived outside for a very long time. And, once once you make it your pet, the rules do apply. Like you just said, this, what's best for the neighborhood and everything else is that we can't have a cat running around attacking people. If he didn't put his name on it, then, we wouldn't be here today, unfortunately. I mean, that cat would probably be captured and dealt with otherwise if it was causing a nuisance otherwise. But I kind of think that, I mean, there's a lot of citations here. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 citations here. So, yeah, I mean, I imagine if this cat is going to be hard to keep cooped up, I don't know how to handle that. I don't even know if a catio or something like that is something that would be, enough for this animal to kind of function properly. But, yeah, I mean, it's considering the damage that happened to Miss Forrester herself and her animal. I have a hard time not upholding quite, if the we're talking about here is that large, I just feel like it's almost like not enough. But
Mhm.
so
Well,
that's
we
where
have
I'm
the
at.
public safety threat citation as well.
Oh, is there a public? I missed that.
Yeah, there's the first one is the public safety.
Oh, okay. I
That's
must have missed that one.
137.
Yes,
Oh,
there's
one,
one
three.
public safety
Oh.
threat, and then there's 5 separate dates of running at large after the incident.
Okay. All right. I must have missed the public safety threat. All right. Well, I feel better about that then anyway. So that's all. I don't have any
And-
recommendations as far as how we adjudicate this yet, but that's
Okay. And Autumn just did clarify that the running at large citations were after the attack. So,
I think Tom brings up a good point, that if you take the testimony from Mr. Herbert at face value, that basically it's a community cat. Nobody seems to be caring for it. It's just running wild in the community. He's taken it upon himself to provide care for the pet, food and shelter, just doing a humane thing for this pet or this cat. I'm not going to call it a pet at this point. And this animal is terrorizing the community. I mean, I don't think Mr. Herbert appreciates the liability that he's put himself into here. That if those injuries happen, those cat scratches and cat bites, as we all know, are probably some of the worst injuries to suffer, and certainly secondary infections from those can be disastrous.
yeah.
That he is potentially on the hook for some very serious liability issues here. Um, and it would probably behoove him to relinquish ownership of this cat, not have anything to do with it, and let the county address it. Because if this cat is, in fact, terrorizing the neighborhood as Miss Forrester portrays the cat doing, I think the county's got a bigger issue on their hands than Mr. Herbert does. So I just wanted to just put that out there, that I think this cat probably is truly a feral cat and just needs to be addressed as such. Um,
I just wanted to make note, just for you guys, just that the incident occurred May 26th of this year, but the vaccine for rabies was administered at Annapolis Cat Hospital on March 5th, 2025 of this year. So at least dating back to March is when the vet care started.
Yeah, dude, I mean,
Thank you.
I don't think it's his cat per se to do with what he wants, but I think he's doing the right thing to provide care for the pet. I just don't know that he appreciates liability. If this cat is aggressive, as Miss Forrester seems to portray that it is, there may be some other issues at hand here. So for those confounding statements, I agree with Tom. I don't have any real good idea on how to adjudicate this particular issue, because definitely Miss Forrester suffered some injury from this cat attack. And I don't, and what I think Miss Forrester's shooting for is to get this matter resolved. But even if we were to uphold all these citations in their entirety, I'm not sure the situation's going to change. And that may be beyond the scope of our commission obligation.
Yeah, I
So,
think that's the thing, is kind of like legally, I think we almost have to uphold, because he is the legal owner of the cat at this point. I don't think there's much we
correct.
can do in that, because I
Yeah.
just think,
Correct.
I don't know, I'm just trying to impart some wisdom on him moving forward. How does he handle this moving forward? I mean, that's not really for us to say, but, I think, unfortunately, I think legally we kind of have to address what we have in front of us as him as the legal owner.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. And it is difficult to bring I personally do not consider this cat to be feral. And at this point, under the law, I guess it's not a community cat because it has licensed vet care and everything. So it would be his responsibility to bring the cat in and take full control of the cat and its actions and movements. which is going to be difficult with a cat that has had free roam opportunities. It can be very difficult to rehabilitate a cat like that. But so it seems like his choices, and it's not for us to rule that way, but his choices are to bring the cat in and make the attempt to control it and not allow it to run at large any longer in the community, or release the cat to animal services. Because at this point, it's established that this cat is a threat to the community. So we can't just leave it out there. Comments from anyone else?
I agree. I don't think we're thinking through this incorrectly. Not our job to fix the problem. I just don't think Miss Forrester is going to be happy. I don't think either one of these two citizens are going to be happy with the outcome here. Miss Forrester wants the cat under control, and that's not going to happen. And Mr. Herbert's going to be upset because of the financial liability he's assumed here, taking ownership of the community cat. So this is a no-win for us today, team. So I make a motion, we uphold the citations ending in 3137 through 3142 inclusive in their entirety.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Any opposition? So that's unanimous. It's a difficult situation for the people as well as the cat, unfortunately. If the cat would just behave and rub on people and do what cats normally do, wouldn't be so bad.
Agreed.
Just have to have a talk with this cat about public manners. So Autumn, we have some administrative things.
Just to vote on last month's meeting minutes and then adjournment.
Okay. Can I have a motion on the minutes from last month? Everybody read them?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor of the minutes? Thank you all very much. Can't believe it's September.
Yeah, really. My gosh.
So yeah, next month I think Greg Fuentes will be sitting here as long. He's been out on paternity leave, I guess. So he should be coming back soon. I think he should be attending. If not, my supervisor Mike Anderson will probably attend. But we'll be starting the ORV program, so I'm going to be busy. So,
yeah, good luck with that, Tom.
Thank
Good
you.
program.
Well, thank you everybody for this morning.
I make a motion we adjourn the September Animal Matters Commission.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Tommy, second. Thank you. All those in favor to adjourn?
Have a nice day.
Have a good day. See y'all next month. Thank you all.